Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today we are going to be talking about underrated, underhyped, and underrepresented makeup products that I happen to love. To my channel, a very special welcome to you. I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave. It really helps me out, and if you click your notification bell, you will be notified Tuesday through Friday when I upload. I just really wanted to do this video. I think I have a lot of products in my collection that I don't hear spoken about here on the platform, and I really like watching these types of videos, so I thought it would be fun to do one myself. I think it's very informative on the products that aren't getting the hype here on YouTube, the products that probably a lot of everyday regular non-crazy makeup junkies like myself use, and they just aren't being represented here on YouTube. So today I'm here to do that. So the first product is the Missha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I'm showing you two because I have two shades here. This is number 23 Natural Beige and number 27 Honey Beige. This is quite a bit darker, but this one is getting a little too light for me, so I'm starting to mix these. This is highly underrated here on YouTube. I don't know why I don't hear more people besides Jessica Braun talking about this product. It is not cruelty free, so I do think that that's part of the problem. Also, the shade range is not that great, but I do find that it's pretty affordable. I did pick up a backup of number 23 and this number 27 on, I was gonna say Instagram. No. Amazon the other day for $12 a piece. It was like 11 and some change, so I don't feel bad about, you know, having to mix them, but this is just the perfect foundation. For me, I could get rid of all of the rest of my foundations and be totally okay with that. I think this works well for any skin type. Oily, combination, normal, dry. I think that you're going to find that this works very well with your skin, especially if you pair an appropriate primer with it. For me, I tend to go with my Coats SPF, which is a little bit of a smoothing and even a little bit mattifying product, so it works really well. This is what I have on my skin today, and it wears well. It wears all day long for me without breaking up. I use one pump combined, or if I just use one shade, one pump, and it's about a good pea size amount, and that is perfect for my entire face. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look makeup-y, and I just can't say enough good things about this product. So I do highly recommend this, and I find that it's completely underrated here on YouTube, especially considering that the whole K-beauty movement is sort of big right now, as well as more natural makeup is coming back. We're not baking, we don't have the full coverage matte foundations. So if you haven't checked this out, I highly recommend it, and all the products will be linked down in the description box. Next is a product that's a little bit, I don't want to say it's harder to find, but you either have to purchase this product at Target or from the direct sale website, and those are the number 7 pressed powders. Now, my first love was this one, which is the Perfect Light pressed powder. This is just a regular old translucent powder, but it actually works beautifully under my eyes as well as on my face. It is the powder that I'm wearing today, and you can see I still have a nice healthy glow to my skin. So this is beautiful. I've probably used 3 or 4 of these over the last couple of years. It's just beautiful. It's very finely milled. It's not too firmly pressed, but there's not any kick up in here. This is the shade Translucent, but they also have light, medium, and deep. Unfortunately, again, the shade range on this is not fantastic, but that's why I tend to go with the translucent version, because then it tends to work for my skin for most, if not all, of the year. And then this one was born. This is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder in the shade Light. This one is a setting powder. It will set your makeup and keep it set all day long. This is a finishing powder. I can use this as a setting powder, but the thing I love this for is underneath my eyes. This has a beautiful blurring effect that just cannot be described, and I will link the video down below of which I speak, but Jessica Braun did a dupes video and I 100% agree with her dupe, and that is, this is just about as close as you're going to get to the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter whatever powder that's like $45. This is $12.99. This is like silky and almost creamy. It almost feels like it has dimethicone in it. I'll put on the screen if I can find the ingredients, whether it actually does or not. But as a result, this has a beautiful smoothing, pore filling, just beautiful. It's a finishing powder. It finishes off the face beautifully. If it was in my Shop My Stash, I would use it today, but it, alas, is not. But this is just absolutely a beautiful powder. If you've been wanting to try the Charlotte Tilbury one, but you just can't bite that $45 bullet, I highly recommend this one. They do have a few shades, and I don't think that you would be disappointed in either of these products. They do have a loose powder in the Perfect Light formula. I have not tried that, but I would have to assume that it's really good. For my next product, let's beat a dead horse, shall we? It's the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It. This is in the shade Light. This is in my Shop My Stash this month, and it is the beautiful bronzer that I have on today. I have absolutely dug into this thing. This is the one bronzer that I've considered actually purchasing a backup of, and I do not buy backups of like powder products, just like brow products, mascaras, things like that. But I don't ever want to be without this bronzer in my life again. This was a perfect recommendation for my girl Glam with Kelly, and I have since turned on several other people to this bronzer and they love it too. Variety of skin tones, variety of skin types. This is just beautiful. I've talked about this before, that this is like the fixer of bronzers. It's almost neutral, and they do have several shades. This, like I said, is the light shade, but it's not too warm. It's definitely not cool, and it just is beautiful. You can't overdo it. Like, I mean, I really bronzed my face with this today. If you have a patchy matte bronzer or another product, even more of a neutral blush, this over top is just going to make it look perfect. It just perfectly contours the face without looking like you've done anything to contour your face. It looks like a natural warmth on the skin that is unlike any other bronzer that I've tried. I have gorgeous, expensive, luxury bronzers, and I'm still reaching for this one first. So hopefully that tells you. In the blush category, I couldn't not mention these products. I did include these in my top 10 under $10 video, which I will link for you up here. And that is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks Blush Edition. And I know that these kind of had their heyday already here on YouTube, but nobody talks about them anymore, and I'm really surprised. This is the shade Growth Flirt, and this is the shade Between the Sheets. I've hit Major Pan because this is like my perfect blush, like my perfect everyday goes with everything blush. And you know, they're that really cool like putty texture. You can see that I've like dug into here with my fingers. And so here's Growth Flirt. Wow, I'm having trouble today. And here is Between the Sheets. They're just beautiful. They're very much like a cream to powder formula. And so if you have that combo to oily skin, these are going to be a good choice for you, although they work for dry skin as well. But these are going to be a good choice for you in terms of a cream product, air quotes there, because they do set down to a powder finish, and that's one of the things I really love about these. They're easy to apply like a cream, but then they set down to a powder product and they stay there all day for me. These are only $8 a piece, which to me is a huge bargain. And I'm really surprised these didn't get more heat here on YouTube, considering we have this huge cream product movement going on right now. Everybody and their grandma's cousin's dog is putting out cream products right now, reviewing cream products right now, which I love because I think cream products look very beautiful and natural on the skin. And so I think if you're, you know, kind of wanting to dip your toe, dabble, if you will, into cream products, but you're a little bit nervous, you want something that's easy, that's inexpensive in case you don't care for it, and, you know, easy to apply, all of that, I think these are a great option. There's a lot of shades available on the Ulta website, so you do not have to order directly from ColourPop. In fact, this shade right here, actually both shades I got from Ulta, and they're phenomenal, and my stomach is growling. Yay. For highlight, one of my favorite highlights of all time. It can be worn naturally, it can be worn to glow to the gods. It's beautiful as an eyeshadow. I love it as an inner corner highlight. If I have an eye look going on that just needs a little punch, I will apply this over top, and it is the Juvia's Place, the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. Long name, fantastic product. This is described on the website as a champagne highlighter, and it's so pretty. You probably can see here that I've started to wear away the Juvia's Place embossing, but oh, look at this. It is so gorgeous. I'm gonna swatch this across my wrist and see. It's stunning. Oh man, the camera's not going to do it justice. It's so pretty. I just can't. I cannot with this highlighter. There's no glitter in here, which is great because I'm almost 40 and I'm not into the glitter. I think this would be flattering for a lot of skin tones. It is beautiful. It's creamy and it is smooth, but it's not like some highlighters where it almost feels like an eyeshadow, and so it really goes on like a stripe. This is just stunning. I wonder if I could add and you would be able to see here. I'm cheating on my Shop My Stash. Don't tell anybody. All right, let's see here. I mean, mind you, I do have a highlighter on already, but we're gonna zhuzh this up a little bit. It's just, oh, it's one of those highlighters that I have a hard time using anything else when I'm using this. Just look at that. Oh, now we get a match. I love this highlighter. I've missed you, my precious. I've missed all my makeup, spoiler alert. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. And not expensive either. I mean, you know, affordable is relative and all of that, but this is really not expensive at all. You get a ton of product in here as well. 9 grams. That's almost as big, as much product as this bronzer. So that's a really good bargain for you. For face palette, I don't recommend face palettes very often. Face palettes tend to come and go very quickly around here.
People come and go so quickly here.
I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but face palettes actually get discontinued rather quickly. So I don't tend to recommend them because by the time I've tested them and can put like my stamp of approval on there, they're gone. This one is not that case, and I freaking love this. I have missed this product probably the most during my Shop My Stash experiment. Kelly, she's been teasing me about it because she did include it in her Shop My Stash. These are the only face products she's been using all month long, and it is the Smashbox Cali Contour palette. I love this thing. First of all, I love that it folds all the way back.
what is it with the gnats?
First of all, it folds all the way back and it has a really nice mirror back here in case you care. I care because I tend to travel with stuff like this. And then you have a banana powder, which is beautiful. It's soft, it's finely milled, it's got that silky, almost like a dimethicone kind of feel to it, as do most of these products. And I think when you get that silky dimethicone feel, it really lends to the blendability of the products. And so then you have a cooler contour shade, you have a warm bronzer shade up here. You have this really beautiful neutral sort of a brick rose blush that again just goes about with anything that you could pair it with. And then you have these two highlighters. For me, this one's pretty gold, so I tend to like tap between my bronzer and this more bronzy gold highlighter and make it into luminous bronzer. And then this highlight, it's so pretty. It's almost like similar to the Juvia's Place one, but like her subtle sister, if you will. And it's just really, really flattering, and it almost kind of like shifts depending on what you're wearing. And I really noticed that this month through watching Kelly's videos. Like when she's wearing more of a neutral look, it comes off more neutral, like champagne nude. But when she was wearing more soft pink romantic looking looks, it had like a pinky champagne look to it. So I don't know, I think it's kind of amazing. You can definitely mix these two together as well to make them a more wearable shade if you're of a similar complexion to me. I'm dying to get back to this little beauty after my month of my Shop My Stash experiment. And so I really highly recommend that if you've been looking for an all-in-one palette or a contour palette or something like that. This is a really, really good one. And I actually purchased this with my points at Ulta. All right, we're getting there. This might be a long one, but I have 3 different eyeshadow products to mention. The first one is this little single eyeshadow from Touch in Sol. Did you know that they made anything but the no pore blend primer? Because I didn't. This is the Metalist Sparkling Foiled Pigment. I have mine in the shade Hollow Mulberry. Is that not something else? It's not blue brown. It's described on the Sephora. Oh my God. It's described on the Sephora website as a blue brown. It's anything but that. It is. Oh gosh. It's definitely foiled. Like it spreads across my hand like metal. But it has more of a plum base to it than a brown base, if you will. And then instead of more of a blue, it definitely has more of those aqua and teal shifting particles to it than like your typical blue brown does. This is just something, and it looks exactly like this when I put it on my lids. It's a wee bit messy, I will say that. Wow, that just went everywhere. It's a little messy, as pigments and things like that tend to be, but it is pressed. It's very much pressed in here, kind of like a Super Shock shadow, but maybe a little bit more loosely packed. But I mean, and they have such cool shades on the website. Again, I got this on Sephora. They have one that's gold with like a lime green shift. It's called Apple something. I so want to get that one. This to me is something worth keeping around. I don't keep a lot of single shadows. When I do, they're usually like cream shadows, which are functional to me, or it's something like this where it's really freaking special. And I don't know about you, this is special. Next is a product from a brand that is definitely not underrated here on YouTube. In fact, I say it's mostly represented here on YouTube. However, this particular palette, out of all the palettes they have to offer, I feel like it's really underrated. I think a lot of people look at it and they're very confused by the color story, as was I to start. But it is the Juvia's Place The Deuce palette, and it is different. It's different for Juvia's Place. But the things that really attracted me to this palette were these, you know, sort of brighter colors here. This one is a beautiful pinky, purpley duochrome that doesn't ever show up well on camera. Let's see if I can get it here. I don't know, those kind of duochromes never show up on camera, but it's like pinky and lavender and white, and it's just gorgeous. Oh, there, did I get it? I don't know. I give up. The other shades that I love in here are obviously these three right here. I probably mostly bought it for this mint green, which is stunning. This pink right here, I actually have quite a dip in because I love using it as a blush, especially when I'm using this palette. But there's also some other more surprising shadows. This one down here is definitely lighter and more terracotta than what it looks like in the pan, as well as this shade here is kind of like a, I don't even know what to call it. Silver, but it's got some blue green to it. Silver, you know, shifting teal. I don't know. It's really special. Everything in here is special. Everything in here performs like a dream, just like any other Juvia's Place palette. But I think if you haven't looked at this color story, I think you would be surprised how many looks that you can come out of this palette with, and how many different kind of looks. Like these two shades right here, maybe you wouldn't think to pair them together. They're phenomenal, and they actually work well together because this one's a matte you can put up in the crease and the transition area, and then this all over the lid. They're not going to mix because they're two different textures. Oh, so pretty. So highly recommend that one. And then another product from another brand that is definitely not underrated, but I do feel like this particular palette is underrated, kind of got glossed over, didn't quite get its heyday when it was released, and that is Soft Glam. I really love this palette. This is definitely one of my favorites and most used palettes from ABH. And they're just, I don't know, this is one of those palettes that I kind of like to refer to as a 4 seasons palette. You could use this legitimately and get a ton of looks out of it for any season. There's a lot of palettes, like for example, the Juvia's Place, the Deuce palette. I look at this and I see spring and or summer, right? This palette you could use for spring, you could use for winter, summer, fall, and you're going to have those really distinctive sort of seasonally appropriate looks from this palette. You've got quite a few different textures in here of shadows, so I really like that. You have some more soft, like, what do I want to say, smoothing sort of shimmers, as well as some more chunky foiled type shimmers, and then you just have a myriad of beautiful matte shades to go along with. You may think that this palette was not underrated, and that's totally okay. I personally feel like this palette never got enough love from anybody. It's one of those that it released, we're excited, ABH released something, and then it was gone, and I still love this thing. And then last but not least, one of my all-time favorite lip products. I have finished countless tubes of this lip gloss, and it is the Milani Cupit Full Nourishing Lip Plumpers. I think we're starting to hear about these from some bigger YouTubers now. I know Andrea Mattiliano and Jessica Braun and a few people have talked about these recently, almost as if they were new, but these have been around for a while, and I have finished up countless tubes of these, at least 5 or 6 in the last 2 years that I've been wearing these. 100% favorite lip gloss formula, even over Fenty, which is one that I happen to love. I mean, just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It has a sweet mint scent to it and a slight minty feel to the lips, but it's not tingly. It's definitely not stingy or anything like that. And I really feel like the plumping factor comes from the fact that these actually do nourish your lips. I would consider this to be akin to something like the Bobbi Brown Crushed Oil Infused Gloss, not in texture or anything like that, but in the fact that it's a lip gloss that actually is lip care, if you will. So the 2 shades I have currently, and believe me, I'll be picking some more up when I can get back out to the store. I have Soft Rose, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's more of a creamy formula. And then I have a little bit deeper shade called Varnished Rosewood, and that one's definitely more of a cream formula as well. They have some that are more sheer and they have like sparkle and glitter kind of suspended, totally comfortable glitter. But this is Soft Rose and this is Rosewood. Both beautiful shades. Again, these were in my top 10 under $10. So if you want some other great recommendations, then go ahead and check that video out. But for today, that is all I have for you. I hope you found some new discoveries today, or are maybe considering some different products that are not being hyped up here on YouTube. I hope at some point these products are hyped up again here on YouTube. Like I said, I think some of these products, ColourPop, have had their heyday here on YouTube, but they're still good products. They're still putting out new shades of these products, and I think that that shows that there are people out there buying these things, and I'm one of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, tongue-tied and all. If you did, you could give it a thumbs up for me, share it with your friends, social media, because that really helps me out. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers this year, and I have a big giveaway when we get there. And with all of that said, I hope you are staying safe and well right now. I hope you are being kind to others and to yourself. And I hope if you're wearing makeup right now, and I hope you are, that all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.